Hey y'all, it's me, Dree. So today we are starting with serenity. Then we get awakening. Then trust. And finally, faith. So I'm getting that the collective has been on a trajectory here. With serenity, I'm getting there is this calm, centered energy despite whatever may be happening externally. And with awakening, something is being realized. I'm getting something deeper is coming into view. And then with trust and faith sitting behind this awakening, I'm getting that there is a reason y'all are being asked to trust what has already been revealed. I'm getting there is something that y'all have been moving through for quite some time now. And I'm also getting that something about that trajectory is starting to make sense. Now let's get into this message. We're starting under this serenity undertone. And I've got the Nine of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Nine of Swords reversed. So I'm getting this Nine of Wands is y'all. I'm getting that the collective was left in a situation, a circumstance, where y'all were holding the line around something that was big enough to matter. Doing this took determination. It took persistence. It took endurance. And getting y'all were trying to maintain y'all selves through something that had become a real crisis here. And the person who was connected to y'all, that's this Page of Wands, an energetic powerhouse. So I'm getting they were engaging with life as if they didn't have a single care in the whole world. This is about exciting plans, movement, playfulness, and good news. So I'm getting their energy was moving forward while y'all were still standing there trying to hold everything together. And then we have the Nine of Swords reversed. This is about psychological trauma, lost hope, dark thoughts. This is anxiety, insomnia, nightmares, worry. This is deep trauma. So, something about this situation or circumstance left significant life-altering trauma for y'all to heal from. I'm getting. And this is where this emotional tone of serenity actually matters, because in spite of what happened here, in spite of the emotional turmoil that you were left with, in spite of being left in a crisis, while this other person was moving through life as if none of it carried any weight. I'm getting y'all were eventually able to get y'all selves calm enough to really look at the picture. Y'all were able to get yourselves in a place to really look at it, not from panic, not from survival mode, and not from the middle of the crisis, but y'all were able to look at it from a centered enough position that y'all could finally see what this person was actually doing while y'all were the ones holding the line. And I'm getting this serenity, your ability to get calm in spite of this challenge. Well, I'm getting that's what produces the awakening. And under awakening, I've got the 5 of coins reversed. I have the Ace of coins, and I have the 2 of cups reversed. So I'm getting, this is where y'all finally see what this person was actually doing back there in column 1. Because with the 5 of coins, it says out of the woods. So this person was at a turning point. They were looking ahead. They were wanting to rebuild. They were wanting to recover from something. And I'm getting that instead of resolving whatever had just happened over here, instead of dealing with whatever they had left behind for the collective to handle, they moved right into an Ace of coins, which is a new beginning. And one of the other anchor words here is literally, it says meeting someone new. So this person you were connected to, they found a new beginning. They met somebody new. And I'm getting that this person presented themselves as stable and secure and abundant. They presented themselves as if they were somebody with real potential, somebody worth the investment, right? But then 2 of cups reversed. This is an unhealthy attachment. This talks about rescuing. It talks about caretaking, enabling, clinging, seeking approval, and codependency. And there it is. Because what y'all are awakening to is that this may not have been somebody who healed, recovered, and then became available for a healthy new beginning. I'm getting this new beginning. That was the recovery point. So this person used another connection to get themselves out of whatever they did not want to sit in. And that makes this feel very much like a rebound, but maybe in a much more codependent way. The other word that comes to mind when I see somebody using a new beginning to recover, I think of the word prey, which alludes to the word predator, because that's what it feels like this person did. They went on a hunt to find somebody who could replace the spot of whoever it was that they were leaving behind. Because I'm getting this new person, they weren't simply someone this person happened to meet after everything fell apart. No. This person served a purpose. They gave this person somewhere to go. They gave this person someone to attach to. Someone who could caretake. Someone who could validate them. And somebody who could help them feel stable while there was still unresolved conflict sitting behind them. And I'm getting that's the part y'all couldn't see when y'all were still in the crisis, because y'all were dealing with trauma. Y'all were trying to hold the line. Meanwhile, this person that was connected to you was already using another relationship as an opportunity to rescue themselves from what they had left unresolved. So I'm going to say it, this awakening is not simply realizing that somebody moved on. It's recognizing the bigger relational pattern underneath how this person moved on. And once you all recognize that pattern, well, then we move into trust. And under trust, we get the autumnal equinox, we have the devil, and we have the 10 of wands upright. So I'm getting y'all are being asked to trust the pattern, because with this autumnal equinox, it says prepare for change, but this is a timing card. It says a few months, so just count back a few months. This is about long-term plans. This is about harvest and fall. So I'm getting there is something here that needs time to run its full course. But y'all can see the trajectory now. And instead of trying to figure out how or when this is all going to play out, I'm getting trust what y'all have already recognized, because things come to harvest exactly when they are meant to. Every farmer knows there's no rushing when it comes to your harvest. Now is there? And then we move into this devil, which is strings attached. This talks about things that grip you. This talks about the shadow self. This is restriction, obsession. This is addiction. This is about sexuality and sex. And I'm getting, this is the deeper pattern running underneath this relational pattern. This devil is the thing fueling the unresolved trauma I'm getting. There's something unhealthy underneath the way this person attaches to people. This is something that grips them. Something that keeps repeating. And if that deeper pattern was never actually resolved way back here, then I'm getting meeting somebody new doesn't make it just disappear. No. meeting somebody new just gives this pattern somewhere new to operate. And then we have this 10 of Wands. This is heavy. This is overloaded. This is carrying a tremendous amount of weight. And I'm getting this pattern creates its own burden. Because the longer it runs, the heavier the pattern becomes. So I'm getting y'all don't have to do anything with this now. Y'all don't have to interfere with it. Y'all don't have to make something come to harvest before it's actually time. Y'all have to trust. Because this, it's all just a matter of time now. And then with faith, we get the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Five of Cups. So I think this divine pairing, I don't think this is two people. I'm getting this Queen and King of Swords. This is the collective. With the Queen of Swords, this is mentally strong. So I'm getting y'all see clearly. Y'all are realistic, direct, fair. Y'all are sharp. I'm getting there is an inner strength here that comes from being able to see this situation for exactly what it is. And with the King of Swords, this is mind over matter. I'm getting y'all have been very regimented. This is logical, precise, detached. I'm getting y'all have done things by the book. And I'm also getting there is something really important about handling this situation in this manner. Because y'all didn't have to become chaotic just because something chaotic happened to y'all. And y'all didn't have to force an outcome. Y'all stayed clear. Y'all stayed disciplined. Y'all stayed in your own lane. And then we get this Five of Cups, an unwelcome change. This is about grief, sadness, loss. This is mourning and emotional baggage, and this is resisting change. And I'm getting this is our very first glimpse that something may actually be starting to move in the external field now. Because I don't feel that this Five of Cups is the collective. No, I don't. This Five of Cups feels very connected to the person who originally left the collective unresolved and carrying significant trauma. Because what I'm getting is after this entire trajectory has been allowed to play out, that person is now dealing with a very unwelcome change. I'm getting something has shifted. Something is now producing grief. Something is now producing loss. And something they may have been able to outrun before. That is now becoming emotionally present. And I'm getting that's why faith is sitting over this whole column. Y'all have already seen clearly. Y'all have already remained logical. Y'all have already stayed disciplined in how you handle this situation. So have faith in that, collective, because y'all didn't have to create the consequence here. Y'all didn't have to chase for one. Y'all didn't have to force somebody else to see what y'all saw. Because eventually, collective, cause and effect does what cause and effect does, doesn't it? And I'm also getting now this is karma that has stepped in to do its thing. This person is ending in the very position that they left the collective. But the thing is now they have everything they've done since the time they left the collective. All of those patterns running uncontrollably at a high rate of speed. So with this grief and emotional baggage, I'm thinking that whole load has dumped right on top of this person. But what's more is the load that was never resolved from the time that they were with the collective. So that load too has been gaining force and collecting speed. And now that load is also dumped on top of this person. And just think about it, collective. If one load left past life trauma to heal and intense unresolved issues, just think about the burden that this person is now sitting under. And more importantly, you keep having faith in the universe. Because the universe has a thing with timing, doesn't it? I think if we watch just long enough, we might actually see the ball drop. And that's the message that I have for y'all today. So if this one landed, then like my message. If you made it to the end, then leave me a comment and let me know. And make sure y'all are following along. And remember, where there is love, there is light. I'll see y'all again real soon.